Hello everyone, this is Mumbo here, welcome back, and today we are back on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 62 and I am very happy to see you as always. I always seem to be really happy to see you, but it's just because I do seem to really enjoy recording these Hermitcraft videos recently. I've just got into the groove, I'm having a great time, building lots of fun things, and on that topic, if you missed this last episode, you might be wondering, where on earth are you? Well, currently we are over at my skeleton bone farm over at Biffa's base. Basically, me and Azuma did a little thing last episode in which we were talking about getting leather from cows, and I was like, whoa, yeah, I would quite like to be able to get leather easily, but I would need a ton of wheat, and to get a ton of wheat, you need a ton of bones. And also, in the last episode, I turned off my mob spawner, so that means that we don't really have an infinite supply of bones anymore, which is a bit of a shame, and that is why I constructed this thing. But we are not going to be starting this episode over here, no, we are going to be heading back over to my base and getting to work on the wheat farming area. So let's go. So I have been doing a decent amount of digging here, just trying to get my ideas in check, and I think I've come up with a fairly decent one. Now tell me if you think I'm wrong, but here it is. Okay, so what we're going to have is we're actually only going to have a 2x2 drop hole, but then we're going to have blocks going right the way around the edge, and then every 2 blocks we're going to have a line of dirt with wheat on top, and then perhaps jungle wood in between, and then in each of the 4 corners we are going to have water running down in like a waterfall type thing, so that all of the wheat is hydrated. Does that sound good? I think it sounds pretty good, but I don't know because I haven't built it yet. I think the best thing to do in this situation is just to get to work, just try it out, see what the build looks like, and if it does look rubbish, then we're going to have to take it down. But at the minute, I'm feeling fairly positive about that. As you can see, we've got quite a lot of space to play with here, so I am going to start placing down the blocks, and well, I'll keep my fingers crossed in the hope that it is going to look good. Now I just thought I would take this opportunity to have a very quick little chat to you about a few of the things that are on my mind right now, and the first one is to do with my Twitter. I was taking a think about this the other day, and I've only got 12,000 followers on Twitter. Now that may sound like a lot, that's a large number of people, I know, but considering I have 268,000 subscribers right now, well, something tells me that those proportions are a little bit off. So if you do have Twitter, then I would suggest following me on it, because it is really a fantastic source of news about my channel, and also news about me doing things that aren't particularly interesting, but you should still definitely check it out. The link to my Twitter account will be in the description. If you don't want to take a look at the link, then my Twitter name is @thatmumbojumbo. It's got a picture of my smiling face and the words Ollie next to my name, because that is my real name, Ollie, O-L-I. There we go. If you didn't know that, then now you do. Now the next thing I want to quickly mention, it is completely off the topic of YouTube and Twitter, and that is the fact that last night I went to see Darren Brown. He is an illusionist, a celebrity illusionist. He's quite famous in the UK at least. I don't know if you've heard of him elsewhere, if you live in like the US or something, but oh wow, I was completely blown away. It was incredible. Like, my brain actually hurt after the show because I just couldn't understand how he did all of those things. And I know there's going to be a few people out there who are going to be like, oh, it's just cheating. It's just, he's got like a microphone in his ear, or, you know, he's going on people's Facebook before the show and then choosing them. No, well, yeah, if he did do that, then fair play to him. He's put on a fantastic show. But really, he is an incredibly intelligent person. I mean, the person that I went with, she actually got picked up by Darren Brown from a frisbee throw, and he managed to tell that she was a singer, played the guitar, and he guessed her dog's name, and her dog's name is Tank. Who calls their dog Tank? In fact, that is exactly what he said, but it just completely blew me away. So, if anyone in the UK wants to see Darren Brown live, then I know that he is currently on tour, because obviously I went to see his show last night, and I would really suggest it. If you are not in the UK, but you still want to check out this man, then he's also on TV, and I'm sure you can find a few clips of him on YouTube, because really, it is incredible stuff. Oh, wow, it is amazing. So that is just a little tip for you. Check out Darren Brown, because he is awesome. And no, he has not paid me to say this. As you saw from that little time lapse, that is all done, complete, finito, blah 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 blah. And it looks alright. I think it looks okay. The only problem that I have with it is mostly dirt that you are seeing here. You're not really seeing a lot of wheat, which is a bit of a shame. So please do go down to the comment section and let me know if you think this looks rubbish or if you think it looks golden. If you think it looks golden, please tell me, because at the minute I'm in two minds. But anyway, what we're going to do is just head down to the bottom, and this is the area in which our wheat farm is going to be going. So I am going to clear out a very large area. Even though we aren't going to be using the standard field of wheat design, we're going to be going for more redstone automated designs. I still want a large area so that it looks cool, fairly grand, a nice underground wheat farm. I'm excited, and you should be too. Hole is complete. 18 by 18, it's pretty large. When I was like constructing it, well, I say constructing it, I mean taking out all of the blocks for this, and if you do want to see how many blocks I managed to get, then there we go. But when I was doing it, I was like, wow, this place is huge. But now I take a step back and I'm like, yeah, it's not really that large. Now here's my plans, okay? I'm not going to fill this room with one nano farm, because that would be a little bit silly. That's like a 3x3 area. It would go in the middle, and let's face it, it would be a little bit stupid. What I was considering doing is having a bunch of wheat-based farms. So, for example, in the middle here, we could have one of those seed farms, you know, the ones that bone meal the dirt, and then it's like a shifting floor, and that will allow us to get plants and all other various bits and bobs, and that might be an idea. That would be pretty cool for the central area. And then out the back, we could have like a manual wheat farm in which we have wheat coming out to around about here. And then when we hit a button, water floods out and all of the wheat goes into hoppers across here. And then you replant it like that. And then also we could have some of those like strip-based wheat farms in which we have the alternating platform that goes back and forth. And we place down our wheat like this. And that could work well. So basically we're going to have a bunch of wheat farms in this area. It's going to be like the wheat farming central of the server. But first off, I think we should get to work on this petal farm. So I will take a look at some designs and come back when I've got one. The first part of the mechanism has now been put in place, and this thing is a little bit more bulky and also a little bit more expensive than I had first imagined, because we have got to create a 6x6 area of hoppers. But I will get onto that in a little bit, because I want to quickly explain to you how this actually works, what it actually does. So up here we are going to have a 6x6 area of grass, and then these dispensers underneath are going to be filled to the brim with bone meal. Now what's going to happen with these, and this is the interesting part, is they are going to bone meal the grass so that we get long grass and flowers, and then with this shifting floor design, it is going to break that long grass and flowers, and they are going to sort of pop off and land in the hoppers, and that is going to be happening a large number of times a second. As you can quite clearly see, this is a fast moving shifting floor. Now the way that I have done this is actually really easy. I've got a hopper clock here running into two monostable circuits that are controlling these regular pistons. Now this isn't really the expensive part. This is only 12 pistons in total, plus the ones for the monostable. But to pick up all of these items, we are going to need a bunch of hoppers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to work over at the tree farm, gather up some wood, pick up some iron from the iron farm, place it all down, and hopefully we should end up with a functioning system. We have got a tiny little bit more of work to do, but just to let you know, I never expected this one to be so complicated. This was like an off-the-cuff thing. Like, yes, that is a great idea I could do with one of these kind of farms, and then I just got straight to work without actually thinking about how long it was going to take. But what we are going to have to do here is we're going to have to place down all of our grass on top, and before I forget, I need to put the bone meal into each one of our dispensers. This is just like a test amount, just to see if this is actually going to work, because I don't know, okay? I didn't look this up on YouTube. I sort of came up with this on the top of my head. And before we do any of this, I actually have to do a little bit of redstone for the item elevator here. This is going to send all of the bone meal, the flowers and everything up into a chest that will be up the top like this. So we're actually going to take an output on either side from each one of our piston pushers over here. So I guess we should probably run a repeater out from this, and then just grab our redstone, I suppose, and run it straight into the droppers there. And I will just check that they are droppers, because I am dealing with both droppers and dispensers Yes, they all look like droppers to me, so that's fine. There's nothing more awkward than spending hours upon hours trying to work out what is wrong with your system and then finding out that actually you've used a dispenser instead of a dropper. But anyway, all of the redstone should be now in place for our item elevator. Who knows? I think it should be pretty good. And then on top of all of these, we need to place down our grass blocks. Just like that. All the way across. It's 36 blocks of grass because it is 6 squared, so that should be fine. Should have plenty for that. And, well, here comes the moment of truth. This is just going to be sort of like a quick test to see if it is all in working order. I'm going to stand just over here because our lever is here. But let's begin. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Look at that. It looks like it's working. The item elevator, I can't tell if that's working or not. But all of the seeds and everything are being picked up. This is great. Oh, you just witnessed that work on camera. But are any of the items actually making it into this? No, they are all being stopped over there. So what I need to do is I'll actually run this. Yeah, I've done that completely wrong. I put the redstone in the wrong place. See, this is why I don't do things on camera. I just seem to make silly mistakes like that one. So actually we need the redstone to go down here, and for good measure we will place a chest on top of both of these just so that we can catch all of the items. Now let's take a look. So flick the lever again and hopefully think, oh no, we've run out of bone meal. Well, I am confident in the knowledge that that is working. In fact, we can quickly check that the item elevator is working. Yes, look, everything has flown up there. So yes, that is a successful project. I am fist pumping right now because I did not think that was going to work. But I'm very happy with that. Now all I have to do is a little bit of decorating around here. Place some glass down on top so we can see down onto the grass, but we can't touch it. And also add in some more bone meals to the bottom dispenser. But yes, that has worked. Great news. All of the final stages are now complete, and this is what we have ended up with, and I must admit it looks pretty cool. To any normal bystander, they might think, oh, he's got a nice little garden underneath, that's cool. But then actually what it does is when we flick the lever, you will see it start shifting back and forth, and we get ourselves tons of seeds and plants. Now you may notice that some of them don't actually drop down, and that is because they are on top of the dispensers. There's not really a lot I can do about that, but this farm is pretty efficient as it is. So if we take a look in our chest here, you can see that already we have got a ton of various different things, including a bunch of seeds. Now if you're wondering what the use is for this kind of machine, there isn't really one. There's not really a decent use for it, other than the fact that, well, it's a really good farm. It's very efficient, and it allows us to get seeds, which we could get from wheat anyway, and yellow flowers, which I have tons of, and red poppies, which we get from the iron farm. But really, it's a good farm, and it definitely deserved its place inside this build, and I'm very happy with it. But anyway, now onto the wheat farm that we are going to be placing at the back down here. So this is my first plan. Basically what we have is your standard sort of wheat farm setup. You know, we've got a bunch of space for the wheat, and it is about 3 deep, and that means that we should be able to access it quite nice and easily. And then over here we have just got space where the wall is going to be. Now I think I'm going to be going for stone half slabs along the back here, and as far as this room actually goes, I don't know what I'm going to do in terms of design. I'm going to be leaving that to the next episode, because at the minute we just want to work on all the technicalities and get all of the farms and things done, because I think that is what we want to prioritize. But each one of these dispensers will have a bucket of water in it, and it will flush all of our wheat down into a hopper collection system that will bring all of the items down into this chest that will be in the middle, or off to one side maybe. I don't really know, but what I'm going to do first is I am going to do all the redstone, which quite simply means linking up all of these dispensers. It is now a functional thing, and I'm just very quickly going to walk along and plant all of the wheat, do all of that, because it's a functional thing. It will work. When I hit the button, all of the water flows out and washes all of the wheat into the hoppers that are underneath this water. I have made a few little changes since you last saw it. I have dropped the dirt down by 1 block, and that is just so that the water spreads out, and also the wheat is easier to plant because you can get this sort of aerial view by standing on top of the half slab. And yeah, it works pretty well. In fact, it's a very efficient way of planting because you can walk along like this, and then you can bounce back, and then you can bounce back again, and it means that you can actually plant things in no time. In fact, you're going to see me do it right here. Just look, walking along. I mean, sure, you do skip a few, and that is just down to the lag on the server or the game. Who knows? It's Minecraft. Things like this are always going to happen, and also it's quite hard to tell which ones you've missed because of how small these little things are. But yes, the wheat farm itself is actually complete. Like, as a functioning mechanism, it is all there. But here's the issue. It looks really ugly. In fact, pretty much this whole room looks pretty ugly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin decorating it. I don't know if I'm going to finish it off, but the first thing that we have to do, definitely, is we have to do the floor. And what I'm thinking is we're going to go for the all-natural look. You know, getting the grass in there, getting a few logs going up and over. Who knows? I personally don't know what I'm going to do here, but I'm just going to experiment, see what I can manage to do, and hopefully it looks like something that is worthy of being inside my base, basically. That's been a bit of a drastic change, hasn't it? Well, I don't know if it has actually improved the room or not. We just have tons of bone meal and grass about the place, and yeah, it does bring the more natural feel to it. And eventually, like I say in the next episode, my plan is, and I'll go through the plan now, is to have like wooden logs going across the top here. They sort of look like they're holding up the roof, and then we can have leaves on the top, and then on each side we're going to have the various different wheat farms, like the push-along ones, in which they use the piston so you walk back and forth, and then it is bone mealing them. Basically, this is going to be our crop central. Maybe even we could have carrot and potato farms just to vary it up. I don't know. This could be like the bone meal area, and in fact, if we are going to be using a lot of bone meal here, it might be an idea to take all of the bones from inside the main storage area over into this area. I know that we have deactivated the mob spawner at the minute, but when we turn that back on, if the lag stops, then it might be an idea to actually cart all of those resources over into this area and have them all automatically be taken into this room. Because let's be honest, I don't have many other farms that use bones other than the tree farm, so that could be a potential option. But anyway, we're going to be ending this project here, and we actually have to go out and get me some new armor, because let's be honest, I don't have a helmet anymore, so my head is completely exposed, and also all of this other stuff, well, it's looking a little bit worn out, isn't it? So we're going to head over to the Ender and do a bit of enchanting. As you've probably just seen from that little time lapse there, I managed to get the absolute worst set of armor in the history of mankind, to the point where I thought, my luck is getting so bad that I'm actually going to have to recycle my boots. So I got Fire Protection 3, Respiration 3. Now Respiration 3 is pretty damn good. I was like, this is going well. I can see a good set of armor on the horizon. And then I got this chest plate. I was like, that's not so hot. And then I got these, which are designed to be not so hot, which is great, but they're still pretty awful. And then, obviously, I've got my Feather Falling Boots, which is Feather Falling 4, Protection 4, the best thing that I have got on my set of armor right now, and I already had them. So, all in all, not too successful in terms of enchanting, but oh well. Now, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I have run out of time for this week, so I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.